Hey, I'm Decathlon Gamer. Welcome back to PCM20 Career Mode, episode 145. It's the first dossier period of the season. Moment of truth for us, really, at least not as big as August 1st is going to be, but a pretty big moment indeed as we go to set ourselves up for what we can do on August 1st. You can see some of the riders are already interested in joining us. We're looking at 82s, 81s, and 80s. There's a key rider that I'm looking at right in the middle of that list who's a classic specialist and still relatively young. They're going to be a mountain of cash in order to sign them, but you never know if we can get that 100% interest. We might just be able to get one Umberto Zeta back on the team. What a difference that would make in our classics riding. But of course, in order to sign him, we're losing our ability in the GC, and that would hurt. That would hurt a lot. Oof, Rodriguez. The points are good, but 0 to 15%. He doesn't want to rejoin the team. We'll see how that goes in terms of how fast we can bring that back up, but there's a chance we're not going to get him to 100% when it's that low. We're now at Eschborn, Frankfurt. I've only got 4 riders left in the Peloton. It's down to just 48 riders here. The breakaway has 4 riders. They're down to a 30-second lead, so we'll bring them in relatively soon. But there is a lot of fatigue in this sprint race. It's mostly sprinters here, but the climbs were just big enough, just hard enough to start destroying the field. Monotoglu was dropped first. Germain tried to bring him back, but Germain collapsed, and then Monotoglu eventually collapsed, almost, actually technically making it back into the group short term before the group split again as the peloton got smaller and smaller over another climb. 22K to go now, but with only 4 riders, we can't start our lead out too early on this one. And then, oddly, our best man today, yeah, it's Gazzoli. He's on a +3 race day condition. Rajkovic has a -3. Rajkovic is still almost a better option at that point, but what can you do? I mean, you kind of got your hands tied when you could see Gazzoli is clearly in a far better shape. Part of me really wanted to just have Rajkovic on the back and ride for Gazzoli, but then see if Rajkovic could take the win anyway. But at this point, I don't think I'm going to have enough riders left to even attempt something like that. We're going to have to really commit to one guy with Alves Machado done and Eric Butt barely having any energy himself. So Rajkovic is going to have to lead out Gazzoli, and we're just going to have to go for it. See, the pace is really lifting at the moment, and this is good for some riders to maybe recover, but I don't want that to be the case. A lot of sprinters are going to be like this. They're going to be tired, and this is something we can take advantage of. Even though it's Gazzoli, Gazzoli really is our best and only option today, and we're just going to have to go with it. So with 10K to go, we're going to start opening up our move. You can see there's a few guys that are now going for the classic style, going for the short break late on. Yershov, Van Aert, Van der Toek, Evenepoel. It makes perfect sense that they're going for it and trying to steal it away. And this is exactly what I was talking about, Eric. But's done, and we're down with 7 kilometers to go down to our lead-out man. So difficult day, much more difficult than what was expected. A little bit of undulation here. That's not a good thing. We're down to just the 2 breakaway riders, and it's also down to just 28 chasing, and there's going to be a lot of fatigue here. 5K to go. Rajkovic still there, but he does not have much left. Now down to just 24 altogether. 3.5K, and we do get ourselves out front, but that does set it up for a sprinter. But with 3K to go, Gazzoli's going to be on his own very, very soon, and that's going to make this a really tough run-in. He's got to try to stay out front, but then this is tough because he's got to try to do the sprint. But he's got some energy. He is out front, but can he outpace these guys? How can he do? He's going to get a top 3. Chamias, the fastest. Ooh, Chamias does not win. Gritze hangs on. Jenny Gritze was second in the line. He was faster than Gazzoli, but Gazzoli did, we timed it right. Gazzoli energy just about out near the end. He does get a podium. He beats Sagan. This is Sagan type territory, but Sagan by now is quite old, so he's dropped in ability. Thorogood. Rainsford was 6th, so there's another top sprinter, but most of the sprinters aren't there. You could see there's really only a couple guys left. Caden Groves was 17th. So we had maybe 3 sprinters left at the end, and we were able to get second of those. Gritze, I'm not sure what Gritze's profile is, but hey, it's a podium. For Gazzoli, of all people. And here we are, folks. We're at the Giro d'Italia. Stage 1 already in the books. It was a sprint stage. One of 7 sprint stages in this tour, so a good third of it. 7 punchy stages, 7 mountain stages, so very evenly balanced. 2 individual time trials, nothing for the team. Let's go ahead and break down the profile of the tour. That was stage 1. Stage 2, punchy. That's a pretty hefty climb. That's going to be a smaller group near the finish. 202 kilometers. That's also fairly long. Stage 3, another sprint stage. Stage 4, already we head into the mountains. 5 on the flat. 6, mostly flat, but punchy finish. 7, another flat stage. 8, that's another punchy stage. 9, again into the mountains. 10's a time trial, punchy. 11 punchy, and that's awfully climby for a punchy stage. 12 flat, 13 flat, 14 big finishing climb, 15 double hills and a little finishing hill, 16 big climbing stage, all's cat in the middle there, and 225k. 17, not a lot of climbing, but it definitely finishes uphill and is long. 18, it's another big climbing one, and on the shorter side, so it's going to be pretty intense on the tempo. And then 19, woo, massive finishing climb there. And finally 20, doesn't finish on the climb. Interesting finish on that one. 21 is a time trial to wrap it up. So big tour ahead of us. Really big tour ahead of us. There is some action early on, and that's a good thing, because here's what we're looking at. Michele Gazzoli is here as the Italian, so riding Domestique. But we've got Zach Johnson, Matteo Jorgensen. Jorgensen's okay as a climber, but he's definitely running Domestique. A 69 is not the worst rating, so that's a couple Domestiques here. And then you've got Killen, Moreau. Johnson, of course, is a good climber. Millar is definitely getting up there. He's our kind of a backup. Telapov, I'd love to see Telapov level up at some point during this race, because he's a 74-74. With that resistance especially, he can be a pretty key rider for us. And then, of course, Rodriguez, the man who we are riding for, and riding for that triple crown. Now, he's on a fitness peak, and this is about careful timing. So, of course, if you know the planner and the objective set, you cannot plan the Tour de France, the Vuelta, and the Giro. Can't do all 3. Timing wise, it only allows you to get 2. So we are planning, our objective is the Tour and then Vuelta. But we've set up timing where we put it right on the back end of that first period. And as a result, Rodriguez hit his fitness peak about 5 or 6 days ago. So he's actually going to get a pretty good chunk of the first half of this Giro with a fitness peak. So we're going to have some sort of bonus for a while. And you can see that Johnson, Millar also on that, Telapov coming down from his, and then Gazzoli is picking up towards his. He might get it before the end of the tour. Will likely get it before the end. Killen maybe, but probably not. I don't think Jorgensen's going to be there at all. Moreau's definitely not going to be there. But we've got a fitness peak early on. Stage 4 was a big climbing stage, so there's an opportunity for us to set ourselves apart, give us a little advantage. Let's see who is here, though, because that's going to be a big thing. Yermakov and Bernal are both here again. Holy crap. Okay, they're both back this year. Carapaz. Rodriguez. McNulty is also here. Paulus is here. Sivakov is. Trentadou is here. And Saseda. There's already 10 riders who are phenomenal, and none of those 10 are punchers. It's a punchy stage, and the favorites for the stage are all big GC guys, and there's minimum 10 here. Ooh, we are going to have our hands full if we are going to win this first one. This is going to be the hardest of the three, guaranteed. Not because of the profile, but because of the lack of objective and only a partial fitness peak, which is better than we had a year ago, but still. And then looking at the riders that are here, this seems to be taken more seriously than the tour, at least compared to what we went up against last year. So stage 2 is off to a brilliant start. We have one rider up the road. That's it. 2.5 minutes. And they're chasing him really hard. Who is it? Vingegaard. But that chase, though we have lifted just a bit in the last handful of kilometers, was such that it was doing some pretty serious damage to the field. Now, I love the idea of doing some serious damage to the field today and having a blown up Peloton. Now that we've lifted the pace a little bit, you can see new attacks forming, so this is going to lift that tempo yet again. I'm really happy with that because why? Well, I told you we have a fitness peak with Rodriguez. We want to take advantage of it, winning where we can early on in this race. He's got a +5 race day condition today. Johnson has a +4. Millar has a +2. The guys who came with that fitness peak, today is an opportunity. Stage 4 hopefully can be something similar. I would love to see a +5, +4, +2 with those three guys, whatever the order, even if Rodriguez is the +2. Because we could really do something with that stage 4 more so than today. But today we could eliminate a couple of the GC contenders if we catch them out. So that Cat 2 climb, when we get to it, I have every intention of putting a hurting on the pack. And you see it's not actually that steep or that long. This Cat 3 could potentially do more damage than that finishing climb. Now Moreau's on a -4. That sucks. But Gazzoli, you are domestique, along with Jorgensen. One of the two will be getting water pretty much every time throughout this tour, or at least every early time. One rider off the back, their day's already ruined. Somebody might go back and try to save them. Haha, pun intended. Alright, so 74 effort is now not hurting at all. You can see Jorgensen's already lost some, Gazzoli's already lost some, so even though everybody's recovered from that early effort, it still did a little bit of damage to the field. Alright, here we go. Cat 3 coming up. Let's up the effort a little bit. Go 77 now, as this is a pretty steep climb. 7% there for a bit. Now 6%, but that's a steep effort. And you can see it's doing damage. Even Rodriguez is feeling it a little bit. He's slightly winded from this thing. For those who watch my Swift series, you know that I would be extremely winded by this point. I don't climb well. Not at all. Alright, well, we're through that part, and we're down to 85 kilometers. Water. Ooh, water's going to be tricky. Maybe we need to get water now, and then the last time we'll be on the descent, hopefully with a very small group, but with what we're intending to do on this climb, it's not going to be a good time to get water. You can see 75k out, and we're already approaching the base. Jorgensen needs to finish the job here so we can set up our sprint chain and then try to destroy the Peloton here in the next little bit. And there we go. He's done. And I think we're also at a good time because we're going to go down and then we're going to go up. All right. We have Rodriguez to follow Johnson and Millar. That's obvious. And then we had Talpov and Killen almost identical. What about the resistance? Talpov's better. And then Killen, and then we've got Moreau, who's on a -4, but he's definitely a better climber, so he will outlast those guys even with lower resistance. So Gazzoli will be first in line pretty much every time. Alright, so Gazzoli leads us out, and here's our first little bit of action for the Giro d'Italia, and we get things underway. Wouldn't it have been nice, or rather fortuitous, fortunate, if we would have had the same list of riders that they had for the 2020 Giro d'Italia? Especially by the, 5th or 6th stage, when some riders and teams had started dropping out a little bit. Oh, that would have been something. Something acceptable. This is such a good, strong lineup at this race that I do worry about our chances of claiming this thing, and I think we've got to be aggressive in these early stages while we have the advantage of a fitness peak. We've got to have a lead, and that's going to be a dangerous thing to try to protect, but coming at it later on, well, the time trial could help, but coming at it later on is going to be tough. Theodeli, Chumias, this is for the sprint point. That's right there. Those guys made it to this point, so we have not been particularly tough. But you can see it's doing some damage. Even Rodriguez is feeling it just a little bit. Okay, let's get Moreau ready. Get Killen ready. It'd be really nice if these guys could just get onto the back and hang on and split everybody else off, and we could ride solo. That would be really nice. We're down to a Peloton of 34, so we have done the damage. There is a split somewhere. That's fantastic news. Guaranteed. That's caught out a leader or two. Talipov is struggling here on his -1, but he's got a 74 resistance. Why is he struggling? They both have the same mountain rating. Stamina is better. Talipov's done. Killen's riding solo at the moment. And this was definitely not what I was looking for. Let's take care of those guys. Let's take care of this guy. And on to Millar. Still 13k to the top. We're down to 3 guys already. Killen. Sit up, latch on to Vingegaard. And then as we come through, we'll try to pick him up from on the back end of this.
The pack gave them no chance.
Oh, it's back together. Somebody regained connection. Still 10k to go. Not doing the damage I was hoping for. And it's going to be really hard for Rodriguez to try to solo this thing to the end. Still 9k to go to the top. Back down to just 20 riders. Back up to 28. No, 21. Okay, that was just momentary. Okay, you're going to set your tempo, Rodriguez. We have definitely caught out a whole lot of riders. Now, we're not going to win this stage today. This is about opening gaps against others on the descent. We're going to have to rely on some help, some support. Down to 14. Beautiful work by Rodriguez here. 3k to go to the top. And we are down to 14 riders now in the Peloton. That's it. On a punchy stage, we've got it down to 14. Down to 12 now. 2 more dropped. 1.5k from the top. Down to 11. Accelerate just a little bit more as we hit the top and see if we can break off the last rider or two. Back down to an 85. We didn't split anybody else off. We got to get fully over the top. And then hopefully we can get some work. Sivikov is the one behind us. McNulty, Sivikov in the CCC. All right, sit up. Down to 11 riders. And let's see if somebody else takes up Sivikov. Uman is here. So Uman wasn't even in the top 10 list. Chamias is still here. 67 Mountain. How the heck has he done that? I was so blown away by what he did last year, too. And here he is again. McNulty. Yeah, Chamias looks fine. He's surrounded by guys with 80 Mountain, and he's a 68, and he made it through that. Even on a +5 race day condition, he had no business being here. Okay, Johnson is here though. So Johnson, we're back up to 24 riders with nobody working. So 12 riders latch back on, or 13 riders get back on. We're gonna get through this flat section, and then we have a descent, and then that last little flat section to the finish. There's no way we're going to win a sprint of any kind. This was just about trying to eliminate some competitors, but I mean, you've got to be kidding me that Chamias was there. That was insane that he is still there. Okay, Rodriguez tried to recover. Oh, sorry, Johnson tried to recover. Rodriguez. Now it's up to 52 riders because literally nobody else is working. None of the GC riders are interested in keeping it like this. Millar is back in. We need to get him coming to the front. That way we can try to get Rodriguez to recover for the finish. Make sure he gets there. We're about to go over the top, though. This is crazy. It's gone the wrong direction. We had it down to 11. Like I said, we needed some support if we were going to actually succeed with this. And now all of a sudden it's at 52 riders. Okay, Johnson is going to be able to take back over. I'd say I hope that somebody got left out, but no, that's not going to be the case. Chamias is going to win this stage comfortably, most likely anyway, and that's going to be that. I mean, that's all there is to it. 11K to go. Everybody's used their gel, so we have no chance there. Talipov with a crash. Hopefully he's okay. This would be really bad news if we lost a guy on stage number 1.
There's a collective fall with several riders on the ground. We can only hope that they all get back
6K to go.
It's a puncture. 5 kilometers to the finish line.
Okay, Millar's done. Just sit on. Slow down. 3K to go. We will try to lead out to Rodriguez as best we can. Enough pull. Yeah, you get your punchers going for it here. Okay, Johnson, 93.
And they're off. It's going to be very fast.
And Rodriguez. Yeah, no hope of a top 3. You can see a couple guys just running away with this. Of course, it's Chamias. Daly got back up here as well. Mastroselli. You got a couple really quick men that somehow made it into the Peloton, even though they can't climb.
The tail enders are still coming in.
That was shocking. That was really shocking. I mean, yes, we got it down to 11 riders, but the fact that when it was at just 20, Chamias was among them, that was... I'm just blown away by that. 11th on the stage. Really doesn't matter on that part. Just trying to catch a GC rider or two off guard. Not yet in their fitness peaks, not yet in form, and hoping to cost them some time. And that Peloton definitely went the wrong way real fast on that descent. 11 up to 54. It's a big moment for us. Stage number 4. It's the only climbing stage until stage 9 and one of only 2 in the front half of this tour. And of course, with the fitness peak, we've got to try to take advantage. We've got to be in a strong position after stage 4 and again after stage 9 if we're going to have a chance of winning this tour. Stages 10 and 21, I believe, are the 2 time trials. Those are going to be good days for us. There are some big climbing stages in the lead up to stage 21, 3 out of about 4 over a period of time. And for those, we're again going to be in a stronger position because we did get a chance to to go on a recon of those and get +1 for those days. So that'll help. We do have a chance to win this Giro. However, it is a very big field of really, really good contenders. We've got to make sure we catch at least some of them out today as a bare minimum, and certainly can't afford to lose time. Rodriguez has a +3. Millar has a +5. Killen and Moreau +2s. Johnson's on a 0. So race day condition looks very good for us. I like our chances on that final climb. It looks like we're going to have our entire team at the base of the climb, and we're going to have to sprint train style and try to damage the field and get Rodriguez solo to the top or with just a couple other riders. That's the goal. That's the objective. Now, so far, stage 2, we did actually succeed ever so slightly. There was about 4 top climbers, not necessarily GC, not top 10 kind of favorite guys, but guys that are in that top 15 favorites. A good 4 of those that did get caught out and lost a couple minutes. You can see as we approach the top here, the tempo really picked up, and we've got some guys that are just starting to fade, but they will recover on this descent, so that's good. It's nice to see that there was a little damage done, because that's going to give people less energy for the final climb. B, I'm glad we've got everybody for it. So that's ideal scenario. Now, among those riders that lost some time, Dunbar lost some time, very strong climber. Osorio, Conchi, very good climbers, not contenders necessarily, but very good climbers, lost some time. And then, really big name, but also 37 in the game now, Primoz Roglic. Roglic lost a couple minutes there. Roglic is still an 80-plus climber, I believe, and so him losing time was significant.
They're moving along at a fair lick. You've just got to hang on.
All right, 76k to go. We do need to get water. We've got to figure out the timing on that. We're okay for now, but we're definitely going to be in need quite soon. Gazzoli and Jorgensen feeling it the most. Talipov, another -1 for him. He's feeling it a bit, but otherwise everybody else is in very strong shape. Maybe we need to use Talipov for the water task. 68k to go. That's nobody's begging for water. Let's just hang on. We did it just before we started that other climb. But as we hit 60k, you're at the happy zone, but with a big finishing climb, that's not yet actually happy zone. But okay, a little blinking red. Let's get up to an 80. We can't drop back too far during this time. Okay, now they're begging for the water, so this is a good time. Let's go ahead and send Talipov 55k. That's almost good enough on that. You get water now, and then by the time he gets back up there, we're down to 45, 50k, and then that should be enough, even with the climb, to get us to the end. Just don't get the whole team going back, Talipov. Come on, come on. You can do it. You can do it, buddy. There you go. All right. Just 2 riders left in the break and only a minute, so no hope for the breakaway today. This is all about the Peloton. 127 riders, so we've already dropped a handful as we come up on this sprint point. There's 1 second available there, but it's not worth it. Is that Chumias who just went for it? I think it might have been Chumias who just claimed that point. He's crushing the points classification and leads the overalls in the pink jersey right now. Go figure. Alright, I don't want to do the climb before the climb, but I want to make sure we don't drop back too much on the climb before the climb. We are going to go into that final climb with the sprint train. So this one's 6.5 kilometers, 5%. This is going to do some damage. Down to 1 rider away. Sunweb rider, about to bring him in. And that's it. No more break. Only a single rider went out the back through that part. Make that 2. Talipov and Jorgensen and Gazzoli all fading. So let's deal with these 3. Gazzoli actually outlasting the other 2, but he's on a +2 today. Alright, so the good news for me is other teams are committing the riders right now and doing some damage in the field. You can see they're starting to lift that pace now, but I'm down to 5 riders to make something happen for the final climb. But there's fatigue in everyone. Johnson is feeling fatigued, so we're starting the final climb at less than full strength. Let's see how well other teams protected their riders. I'm guessing not as well as we did. Johnson, please, right there. 75 77 resistance. Very similar. Okay, 82 is good. Everybody should be set to right about that 82. All right, 111 riders for the climb, 11 chasing, and then 1 after that. So it's a bunch of 1s and 0s. We got a computer to climb with. Killing, starting things off. 16 kilometers to go on this climb. It's hard to see the percent. It's behind the provisional time. Now 15K, and we've already dropped 8 riders.
15 kilometers road sign. The peloton has slowed down a bit. The group is slowly thinning out
due to such a
frantic pace.
Down to 90 riders. 13K. Okay, our guys are so far doing their job. Moreau is done. On to Johnson. Let's go 80 for a bit. It's 11.5K. Here's the first attack. Rivera, Uman. These guys are going for stages. Hamilton. McNulty, though, attacking. Dunbar leading out Barrow. Lopez. Yermakov trying to do. This is a GC move. This is a GC move now. And we're down to 44 riders. Johnson still leading it out, and those guys all just did some damage and gained nothing from it. We lost a handful of bike lengths, but we've already recovered most of that, and we still have support where these guys are starting to lose the support that they had. At the moment, though, we're in a bad position, and Johnson is done. On to Millar. It's still 8 kilometers to go, so it's not terrible if you're down the order a little bit. Oh, Johnson's gone. What? Just like that? Down to 31. It's a good-sized group. And just a ton of fatigue already. I mean, this is what we were hoping for, but I'm surprised how big this group is. Millar, not much left. Yermakov has gone off the front. I'm hoping he's gone too early and feels the pain. Sivikov really wanting this thing. He's going for it. 5.5K. Those guys have gone clear, but it's 4 kilometers, 5 kilometers to go, that is. Protect. Rodriguez. It's Bernal doing the chasing. Let's let Bernal chase.
Wow, that's one attack that's going to leave a good few in its wake.
McNulty attacking. Yermakov attacking. Damn it, we've got to attack. And then, now with just 9, can we get some support? Is somebody going to work with us? Nobody's working. I'm not the favorite. I'm not even a top 5 favorite. Why? Why is nobody committing? Are they hurting that bad? 2.5K. Time to gel up.
Watch out! A team leader is falling behind.
I thought that was somebody attacking for a moment. Oh, now you're gonna just block things. 2K to go. Cannot attack like this. We got 2 riders that have gone clear, and that's not a good thing. 1.6K. It's easing off a little bit here near the top. 1K now. Close that gap down at the front. Rodriguez. Now it's down to 3. Bernal's attacking. And now we got to use whatever we got left to get to the finish. McNulty wins the stage. Sivikov second. Yermakov third. We're going to grab 4th place. Hamilton 5th. Bernal 6th. And then significant gaps behind. It's pretty close at the top, all within a minute. a little unfortunate that we lost a little time there. That little split at the front where we still had support, but weren't in the ideal position. Much earlier than anticipated, it really was. But big gaps behind it. So a lot of contenders eliminated today. We're not in the best scenario, obviously not leading, but also it's not a terrible thing to be a little bit behind, as long as the guys you're behind aren't great time trialists. But there's a problem with that with some of these riders at the front. There are some really good time trialists in there. Hopefully we're still in good shape for stage 9 and can do something with that one. We'll check out the times next time. That's going to do it for this one. I'm Decathlon Gamer. Thanks for tuning in. Be sure to hit that like button. I'll see you next time. Have a good one. Be safe out there. And bye for now.